What's good, y'all? Blacksmith here, and today we're here to talk about Nosferatu. Yeah, we got a new version of an old movie that was inspired by an even older story about a vampire. And by that I mean, this is a remake of the 1922 silent film Nosferatu that was inspired by Bram Stoker's Dracula. And seeing as the original film is 103 years old to date, it's safe to say that I think it's time for a remake, and a good one at that. So with all the hype that it got from the trailers and having a star-studded cast, was this movie good enough to hold a candle to the original and possibly bring back that vampire craze in film? Let's talk about it. The movie follows a young woman named Ellen who lives in Germany and is being targeted by an entity or evil spirit named Nosferatu. Except he isn't just an evil spirit now, is he? This movie follows and expands on the story from the 1922 film as well as Bram Stoker's Dracula and gives us their own twists and turns in their own way. Now, what we're going to do is get into some pros and cons. The first pro I want to talk about, the cinematography. This movie was beautifully shot, and what I really liked about how it looked was that no matter what time of day it was in any scene, they always kept the aesthetic dark. For example, when it would be daylight outside, it would still be more grayscale and cloudy just to give and keep that dark aesthetic leading into the nighttime scenes. It was great. The next pro I want to talk about, the acting. When I said this movie had a star-studded cast, I wasn't lying. You got Lily Rose Depp playing the main protagonist Ellen, Aaron Taylor Johnson playing her love interest, Willem Dafoe playing a crazy doctor, and you have Bill Skarsgård playing Nosferatu. If those names alone don't sell you on how good this movie probably is, then I don't know what will. Because the acting in this movie was phenomenal. Even the side characters did a phenomenal job. From the dialogue to the facial expressions to the possessed nature that the characters had whenever Nosferatu had them in his grasp, it was fantastic. It was very entertaining to look at, and all the actors did a great job. The next pro I want to talk about, the story. Now, like I said before, this movie pretty much takes the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula and expands upon it in its own way. And if you've never read Bram Stoker's Dracula, I would highly suggest giving it a read, but you don't need to read it to watch this movie. While this is not a complete retelling of Bram Stoker's Dracula, they do expand on it in a fantastic way that made it a great story to watch. I wasn't bored at all from the storytelling, even during the slow moments. We can attribute this to the writer and director of this movie, Robert Eggers, who also wrote a little movie called The Witch. Now, when it comes to cons, I don't really have any to say for this movie, and that's not saying that this movie is perfect, but I could pick on the runtime, which is 132 minutes, and I could say that it's too long, but when it comes to this type of movie, I believe a movie like this needed to be about 2 hours plus for them to be able to give you an in-depth story of Nosferatu. But like I said, no movie is perfect, so if you have any cons for this movie, please leave them in the comments section. Overall, I really did enjoy this movie. It was a great way to end 2024, and it's also a great way to start 2025 for those of you who haven't seen it yet. So if you're a fan of horror movies, I would suggest checking this one out in 2025. And if you're not a fan of horror movies, I myself would not classify this as a horror movie. This was more of a gothic drama, and I would still suggest checking it out. It's pretty damn good. Thanks for checking out my review. Let me know if you plan on seeing this movie. Let me know if you've already seen it and what you thought about it. Let me know what you thought about my review, and give this video a like and your boy a follow. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, peace.